Welcome to having another thought with Sheila. I want to share with you a scripture, Philippians 1:28. This is a scripture that I've been able to minister to a lot of people with, and it has ministered to me so much through the years. It's an exciting scripture. It is a freedom scripture. It's a scripture that just causes us to understand that when we are at rest in God, that everything is in Him, that right there is a tool for overcoming. It's something that causes us to overcome and be victorious over the enemy. Philippians 1:28, and I'm reading it out of the Amplified. And do not for a moment be frightened or intimidated in anything by your opponents and adversaries, for such will be a clear sign to them of their impending destruction, but a sure token and evidence of your deliverance and salvation, and that from God. Wow, that is such an awesome scripture. What this is saying is that when you are at rest in God, that you're not moved by your circumstances because you're so at peace in God that you do not respond in fright, and that whatever's going on around you does not intimidate you, then that very thing will be a clear sign to the enemy that he is defeated. When you respond in rest, when you don't allow the circumstances to overwhelm you and overcome you, then you are showing the enemy that it's his end. It's his impending destruction. And this is very powerful. And not only does it show him, but it is a sure token and evidence of your deliverance and salvation, and that from God. Rest is very important. Laying down everything that you have and putting it into Him is so important. Being at peace, knowing that God has already dealt with everything, that there's nothing that you need to be intimidated over. There's nothing. There's a saying by Bill Johnson that I just absolutely love. He said that the only storm that you have authority over is the storm that you can sleep through. Jesus had authority over that storm because He was not moved by that storm. The storm did not cause Him to be in fear. He was able to rest in it because he was at rest in God. He wasn't pulled by the things of the world, but he was at rest in God. So he was able to not be moved by that storm. So when the disciples called on Him to help him, because they were frightened because they had their eyes on the storm, then He was able to rise up and speak to it and have authority over it. And it was because the storm did not move Him, so He had the authority to move the storm. And it's the same way with us. If we're not frightened or intimidated by what our opponent, by what the adversary is doing, then it is a sure sign that he is defeated. When our storms around us does not move us, and we stay in the peace of God, that is a sure sign that the enemy is defeated. And when we're in that place of peace and that place of rest, it is a sure sign that we have overcome. It's a sure sign and a token, and it's very evidence that we are being delivered, that we have overcome. And this is so important, and the power of rest is just very important. And because we can't be moved by the enemy. We can't be moved by circumstance. We have got to be so grounded in God, so connected with Him, that our very eyes and our very focus has got to be in God and only seeing what He's doing. and not seeing what the world is doing and what is going on around us. We have to have new eyes. We have to have a new mindset. We have to see things from God's perspective and not ours. This is the reason why we need to walk in the Spirit instead of in the flesh, because true sons of God walk in the Spirit. And we've got to learn how to walk in the Spirit and not allow the things of the world to distract us and to take our attention. We've got to keep our eyes in God, in the Spirit realm, and not allow the flesh or the things around us to affect us. Because Jesus Christ has already overcome it. Jesus Christ has already given us the victory. So when we're not moved by the things that the enemy is doing, then it's a sure sign to him that we're walking in the victory that Jesus Christ has already given us. And that is very, very important. So when we are at rest, when we're just connecting with the joy of God, that we're just at peace and we're just relaxing and resting in Him, then we are overcomers. It is then that we rise up as mature sons with authority over the circumstances and things going on in our life. Isn't that exciting? I mean, that is so powerful. You know, I think a lot of times we miss so much of what God is wanting to do in our lives, and that it is so simple that we miss it. Because the things of God it's really very simple. Some of the things, it's just because it's such a new concept and because it is so simple, a lot of times we overlook the true meaning of being in God and the whole, just salvation. And so I just want to invite you to not connect and not to be moved by what the enemy is doing around you, but not to be intimidated, not to be frightened, but to just rest in God, knowing that that very rest is showing the enemy of his defeat, and it is showing your victory in every circumstance that comes around you. So anyway, learn to rest. Learn to rejoice. Learn to just step into that peace. And you can do it through worshiping God, through just worship and just focusing on Him. Fill yourself up with Him. And that's how you learn how to begin to rest in God and to enter into that place. Getting your eyes off of you, getting your eyes off of the circumstances, but keeping them totally and fully on Jesus Christ and all the fullness that He has done for you. That is how you enter rest. Anyway, exciting, and we'll talk again later. Bye.